Radio Philippines Network, Inc. is a Filipino-based media company co-owned by Government Communications Group under the Presidential Communications Operations Office, 9 Media Corporation, Far East Managers and Investors Inc., and several private stockholders. The network's main offices, its studios are located at Broadcast City, Old Balara, Capitol Hills, Diliman, Quezon City, and its transmitter are located at number 97 Panay Avenue, Brgy, South Triangle, Quezon City. Founded by Roberto Benedicto and prior to the privatization, it was the sister station of current government-owned and controlled Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Currently, Radio Philippines Network is the broadcaster and affiliate of CNN Philippines, the local franchise of cable news network in the Asia-Pacific region. History. As Panay on Broadcasting System, the Congress of the Philippines approved the franchise of Radio Philippine Network on June 19, 1960. Instead of using its franchise name, the network instead used Panay on Broadcasting System as its initial branding. Panay on is a volcano on the Philippine island of Negros, the home of its founder Roberto Benedicto. Panay on Broadcasting System started broadcasting as a radio network with its first station DZBI in Manila. By 1967, KBS had grown into a full network, with 7 radio stations all over the country, namely, DZR and DZAX in Manila, DZAH and DZBS in Baguio, DZTG in Tuguegarao, DZRL in Laoag, and DXDX in General Santos. Philippine radio veteran Ben Aniceto was the operations director at the time. The broadcast network ventured into television broadcasting on October 15, 1969 with the launch of KBS 9 Manila as the network's flagship TV station. KBS 12 Baguio was also signed on the air on the same year. Properties and funding for the new TV network partly came from ABS-CBN in the form of its old headquarters along Roxas Boulevard and equipment from Toshiba enabling them to broadcast in color. As a result, on its launch it was named AccuColor 9 as the first Philippine television network to launch in full color. In 1970, KBS also acquired a color-ready outside broadcast fan for the remote broadcasts of major news events and sports coverages. In 1975, Panay on Broadcasting System became Radio Philippines Network. As Radio Philippines Network, in 1975, KBS formally relaunched as RPN, the acronym for its franchise name, Radio Philippines Network. It aired special coverages of the Olympics, Thriller in Manila and the Miss Universe, and programs such as John N. Marsha, Flawed Luna and Superstar. RPN became the first home of the daytime variety show Eat Bulaga. RPN became also a popular and most watched longest-running game show on Philippine television, Family Kwarta o Kapan, hosted by Pepe Pimentel. Originally aired on ABS-CBN then BBC2, the show was run for almost 3 decades until 2000. RPN also pioneered the TV newscasting as they launched the first ever newspaper format nightly newscast titled Newswatch. The network also pioneered the use of computer graphics for the program plugs and station IDs, as well as its broadcast of the legendary digital clock shown on the lower leftmost part of the screen during the entire broadcast day except for newscasts. Commercials continuity continuity plugs, station ID, and during sign-off, and after the 1973 fire that razed its first studios, moved to the ABS-CBN Broadcasting Center in 1973 and to its current Broadcast City home in 1979. RPN also aired anime programming and imported and syndicated programs from the United States. RPN 9 is the first network to cover the Philippine Basketball Association Games live in 1976, before the broadcasts moved on to BBC Two. In 1980, RPN 9 began to broadcast primetime programs and Eat Bulaga, through its new domestic satellite technology in which the 1980s logo resembles a satellite antenna. This made RPN the first national network to achieve nationwide program simulcasting via satellite. The network also became home to, from 1978 up to the early 1980s, the Super Sentai series. These made it a reason for the network in 1982 to adopt the leader as its official slogan, coupled with its number 9 and the red corporate logos, due to its massive successes as the nation's #1 network. In 1986, after the assumption of office of President Quezon Aquino, the government sequestered Radio Philippines network for allegedly being part of the crony capitalism under the Marcos regime. By then, it was the leading network in the Philippines, cornering the highest audience share in the entire country. After the 1986 EDSA People Power Revolution, the stock and assets of RPN, IBC and Balara Broadcasting Corporation were sequestered by the Presidential Commission on Good Government. President Quezon Aquino awarded BBC's Channel 2 frequency and its affiliates, through an executive order, to ABS-CBN, and RPN's and IBC's assets were turned over to the Government Communications Group. This was a period when the network lost much of its viewership to GMA Radio Television Arts, which had rose as the leader in 1986, and PTV, another government-owned network, causing its ratings to slump, thus tarnishing RPN's popularity. Worse yet, one of its old rivals, ABS-CBN, which had a lackluster performance upon its reopening, experienced an unprecedented resurgence and consequently clinched the #1 spot in 1988, causing RPN to fall to 4th place. During the post-EDSA revolution era, RPN launched the first Filipino-created animated series, Ang Panday. By 1989, some of RPN's programming such as John and Marcia, Student Canteen and Superstar were cancelled, and taping.'s daytime programs Eat Bulaga, Agile, and Coney Reyes on Camera moved under a co-production agreement to ABS-CBN, as they saw the resurgent network as a vital element in the sustaining of the three shows' success. During this period, it was already clear that RPN was losing its status as a premier broadcaster, resulting in its "the leader" slogan to lose its purpose. In 1989, the network was relaunched into the new Vision 9 brand to recoup lost audience share in the ratings game of Philippine television networks. The rebrand took place after RPN and Syndicated Media Access Corporation took over the network's management and marketing. It became the third rebranding of the network. The reformat and rebranding instead made history for the network as it pioneered 24-hour television broadcasting in the Philippines. In 1994, the new Vision 9 brand was reverted to RPN, and in the same year, RPN became the first television channel to broadcast programs in full stereo. In 1996, though, the network quickly regained its footing when it began to broadcast a Tagalog dub of the Mexican telenovela Marimar. The network became the pioneer in Tagalog-dubbed foreign programs and movies and made the popular and turned round its ratings on the evening prime time. Due to the success, the other networks followed and broadcast telenovelas not only from Mexico but also Spanish-language telenovelas from the United States, Colombia, Venezuela and Argentina, and eventually even drama series from Brazil and Asian drama series from Taiwan and South Korea. By mid-2000s, a major network war in the ratings game ensued with the broadcast of Korean-language television series by the two superior leading networks, ABS-CBN and GMA Network, causing RPN to decline in the telenovelas battle. RPN renewed its congressional franchise for another 25 years on February 19, 2004. Under Philippine law, no broadcast company will operate without franchise from Philippine Congress, an authority that limits and regulates operations of telecommunications and broadcast media such as televisions and radios. As CS9 Solar TV on March 11, 2007, RPN began a partnership with the Solar Entertainment Corporation, an operator of a number of cable channels in the country. The company began co-producing new programming for the network, such as a local version of the Next Top Model franchise. The network underwent management changes on December 24, 2007, as Tony Petalbano was appointed chairman of the network. Under-Secretary Robert Rivera was appointed director of the board, while the president and chief executive officer became former Senator Orlando Mercado. Mercado's first major move was to expand the partnerships with Solar Entertainment. Programming from Solar's cable network CS was added to RPN's lineup at the beginning of the new year, and PBA basketball would also return to the network beginning in the 2008-09 season, as part of Solar Sports' new 3-year deal with the league after an intense bidding war with ABS-CBN. In October 2008, RPN's stations ultimately took on the CS name as part of the permanent branding, and rebranded itself as CS9. The CS9 name would not last. On November 29, 2009, the network rebranded again under the new name Solar TV. In late 2010, it was revealed that RPN would no longer carry PBA games due to planned relaunch to occur in 2011, with more feminine programming. As etc. In 2010, the Philippine government began to actively consider privatizing RPN and IBC. Ricardo Abcid, member of the Presidential Commission on Good Government, supported the plans, noting that the government should not need to subsidize 3 state broadcasters when most countries only have one, and could gain a significant profit if they were sold to a major company willing to invest in the stations. In January 2011, reports confirmed that Solar Entertainment, through Solar TV Network, and Roberto Benedicto's daughter Kichi Benedicto now owned a 34% minority share in RPN. Communications and Operation Office Secretary Herminio Coloma, Jr., also began to hold meetings with the network's employees union to discuss the financial state of RPN as part of the planned privatization. On February 22, 2011, RPN's employees filed a strike notice protesting a rumored shutdown of RPN on February 25, and accusing the government of attempting to privatize RPN without actively consulting its employees. On February 25, 2011, RPN signed off temporarily in preparation for a relaunch as etc. On March 2, 2011. Additional shares in RPN were sold to Far East Managers and Investors Inc. an organization company affiliated with Ambassador Roberto Benedicto, and the San Miguel Corporation. The government would retain the People's Television Network to serve as the sole state broadcaster of the country. However, due to privatization, RPN is forced to retrench 200 employees and stopping the production of RPN News Watch, its last RPN-produced program, on October 29, 2012, as Solar TV takes over the entire RPN's airtime as Solar News Channel. In November 2013, San Miguel Corporation President and Ramon S. Ang declares interest in acquiring Solar Television Network and its stake on RPN, but instead acquire a minority stake of the network. On November 30, 2013, etc. was returned to SBN, while Solar News Channel moves to RPN since the following day to widen its nationwide telecast. As 9TV on January 3, 2014, RPN and ALIW Broadcasting Corporation signed a Memorandum of Agreement for the expanded coverage of the both TV and radio networks nationwide. Selected DWIZ programs will be simulcast on the Radio Ronda network. On August 20, 2014, Solar Entertainment Corporation Chief Wilson Tieng announced that he ceded his entire share on Solar TV Network, Inc., including its 34% majority share on RPN, to Antonio Cabangon Chua, owner of Business Daily, Business Mirror, and ALIW Broadcasting Corporation. Tieng sold Solar TV because they are losing money for operations, and he will be focusing instead on the remaining television channels he personally owned through Solar Entertainment. To reflect the change of ownership, on August 13, 2014, Solar Television Network and RPN announced the rebranding of Solar News Channel into 9TV by August 23, dropping the Solar branding. 9TV retained the news and current affairs programming while expanding its weekend programming to cater more audiences with the launching of Kids Weekend, Small Acts, Big Stories, Something to Chew On, and Boys Ride Out. However, the 9TV branding is only a transitional brand to separate what is Tieng's and what is Cabangon Chua's. In October 14, 2014, 9 Media Corporation Inc. to 5-year brand licensing agreement with the Turner Broadcasting System to rebrand 9TV into CNN Philippines, the local franchise of cable news network, and the third local CNN channel in Asia. CNN Philippines was officially launched on March 16, 2015. As CNN Philippines on March 16, 2015, 9TV started broadcasting on CNN Philippines brand. CNN Philippines is the 7th rebrand of Radio Philippines Network since its inception as KBS. It dropped the transitional brand 9TV after 7 months of operations under such brand. The new brand reflects the CNN format of news reporting on news from the Philippines. Programming. CNN Philippines programs previous RPN-produced programs RPN stations nationwide. RPN USA